Wow. I have just gone live as the news has broken out that Brendan Rodgers has finally gone. Jamie, you obviously are really happy with that news. I am shocked.
Shocked?
I'm,
How
no,
can you be?
no, I'm not saying I'm shocked that he's gone. I'm saying I'm shocked that they've done it. I'm shocked they've actually finally done it.
Had to be, pal. Absolutely had to be.
I
We,
will.
we were only going one way. We were only going one way.
Yep. Let me quickly put the link into our chat so people can join. But yeah, I'm gobsmacked that we've actually pulled the plug. Obviously, we saw the news from uh, Percy that it was looking the case, and then 5 minutes later he's gone.
I have. I've won the lottery. I'm going to
What
pick
do
the
you
lottery numbers
think?
tomorrow for the weekend.
What do you think is going to happen from now? And do you think the backup staffing will take charge?
Well, I think Mike Stow will be in charge. He's one of the assistant managers. He's done it before, and he's done a decent job. He knows all the players. Yeah, I think he'll. Yeah, Mike's out, and like I said this morning, I think Jamie Vardy can assist him. I know he hasn't got his licenses, but it's totally different. It's you don't have to have the licenses to be assistant. No. So I reckon it'll be Mike Stow and Jamie Vardy, and maybe Johnny Evans there. I think Johnny Evans might be part of the old school backup team. So yeah, I think that is. To be honest, this morning I was down in the dumps, went into the bar, finished the bar, Sunday lunch, just come home, seen this, and it's made my day. I was going to go into work tomorrow.
Again, as much as I said to you after the show today that for me, I feel like the time was right for him to go, but I just didn't see it happen until the end of the season. I thought it was a bit too risky to do it. I've not said the words Rodgers out because I'm just trying to back the boys, but at this point, it just I don't know. It's relief, I guess, because now you're kind of.
Just keep talking a minute. I just want to listen to something. I'm going on mute. Just 1 second. You keep talking.
Fine. If this sacking helps us stay up, then fair play. But I am still on the nervous side of. I think this honestly could be something bad if we do go down, because I just don't think. I don't know if it's enough to keep us up at the moment.
Jamie O'Hara is just having a pop saying why they sacked him. I don't know who's going to go in. He's a top manager. Yes, I totally agree. He's done good for us the first 2 years. He has done well. But how can you have a run of the first 7 games with only 1 point, and then the last 8 games, is it 7 games with only 1 point? So after 14 games, he's got 2 points from 14 games.
Yeah, Wayne says, I think we're all going into the unknown. It's right. For me, the only risk of me wanting to get rid of him is because who is going to come and change this around? I don't know who, and I don't know if we will. I don't know if something is going to change. Obviously, there might be a manager bounce now because he's gone.
I'll just go on mute again. You speak to
Tom. You obviously just joined. What do you take from this? You're obviously happy, mate.
Mate, I know what you're saying, it's the uncertainty. But the uncertainty was we were going down under Rodgers. You know, the club must have seen the reaction from the away fans yesterday. They also must have been realising the performances weren't getting any better, and the same spiel was coming out of his mouth week in, week out. Having read the statement from the football club, I'm not having it by mutual consent. I think he's been sacked, mate. There's no all this. Oh, it's mutual consent. Bull. Cock and bull. He has been sacked, and it had to happen. As much, yes, it's uncertainty now, and I completely there is uncertainty. Having seen the rumour mill started of Rafa Benitez and Gus Hiddink apparently being linked with the job until the end of the season. You know, neither fill me with like long-term success, but could Rafa come in and do a job? Very unsure about that.
Do any of you two now think? Do any of you two think now we're going to be bringing in a manager before the end of the season, or do you think we're going to try and see what we can do until the end of the season now, with, like I say, with Stow or maybe even put Vardy in charge? I don't know.
I think the club will have someone in mind. I think the club will have someone ready to go, if I'm honest with you. We did it when we got rid of Pure. Look how quickly we brought in Rodgers at the time. Pure went within a day. Rodgers was already through the door and signing the paperwork. I think the club will have already something in place. If you look at the blueprint of most football clubs, they're already looking at the next manager, which sounds quite bad, really. But if you listen to what Brighton chairman said, yes, we had Potter, but we already had a list of 4 that if he ever left, who we'd go for. I think most football clubs have an idea who they want to bring in. Obviously, at the point of the season we're at, it's pretty difficult to go and sign if they have someone they want to sign, because they might want to not come to a club who are destined for the Championship at the moment. But on the other hand, you might be able to get someone to come and steer the ship till the end of the season. I honestly feel they're going to have someone in mind, and I think it'll be a senior player, or senior manager who's got the experience to hopefully get us out of this mess we are in. Yep. But I think, if I'm honest, the players will get a lift just from him leaving. I generally feel he had drained. I said it yesterday in my tweet. Meet Brendan, the leech, sucking the life out of our football club. I think most fans would agree on it. He was sucking the life out of us. He sucked the life out of the players from them playing football. I think that's nothing more than saying that from Tete. His first game, he looked like a world beater. Within 3 games, he doesn't look like he's got any confidence left in to take a man on. I just think now is time. It should have happened weeks ago. They shouldn't have given him the extra games. He should have gone within the international break to give the new manager time to work with the players. But I'm a very happy man to see that he's finally left this football club, because he's completely destroyed any legacy he had. I really am. He could have gone down as a great manager for 2 fifth-place finishes and an FA Cup. He'll leave as nothing now. He doesn't leave as he was a great manager, because the FA Cup thing's been tarnished because of the way he's been the last 18 months. A spoiled little brat who thinks that he's never wrong.
Yeah, Sam, appreciate you joining. Obviously, you've just heard the news as well that he's just gone. Again, I'll say that I'm gobsmacked that the club's actually pulled the plug. I thought it would do it in the summer, but what do you take from this as West Ham have taken the lead?
Well, I think it's at least 6 months overdue. It might be a little too late because we've got 10 games left, but hopefully it's come at the right time, because we've got at least 5 games out of these next 10 fixtures that are very crucial, very much 6-pointers that we need to end up winning now. I think it was about time. If it wasn't going to happen after the Palace game, I thought we would have just stuck him out, because we've had so many chances this season to sack him. I thought he would have been here till the summer.
Yeah. Like I said, I've just seen that West Ham are leading now, so I think that puts us to 19th place. Or is that
goal being mate? It's gone VAR, but
okay, no worries. But yeah, I'm lost for words, because I just didn't think it would happen yet.
I'm not lost for words. I'm definitely not lost for words, mate. I don't think we'll have anyone in officially by Tuesday. I think it's a bit late for Tuesday. So I think Mike's out, unless they've got someone in mind. Like I've been saying, Pochettino, he's available. He's a man for the job. He knows the Premier League inside out. I know people say, well, we can't afford Pochettino. We've just had Rodgers on a £10 million contract. We can afford Pochettino. He needs a job.
I've said the only reason I'd get rid of Rodgers at the moment is because you'd bring in someone with the same level or better qualification-wise than just bringing in a Sean Allardyce or Tyler Dyche.
I am more confident for Tuesday night than I was 3 hours ago. I am. I really am. I am more confident. I really am. When this is probably before your time, you and Sam, Tom, you remember when Sousa was in charge and we lost 6-1 to Portsmouth and 5-1 to Norwich. It was so downhearted. We got a new manager and we just went onwards and upwards. The pressure just lifted. I feel the pressure has just gone off my shoulders. It feels like I have a weight on the world. I mean, my missus is sitting just there and she's happy because I'm not moaning anymore. I'm actually talking. She's cheering at the minute because I'm not going to be moaning about Brendan Rodgers. He's gone. He's finally gone. Top has come back into my top of my estimations. He's up there. He's done what he should have done not weeks ago, months ago. And I think
he listened to you, Jamie. He listened to your speech.
Go on, Tom.
He listened to your speech, Jamie, this morning.
That was the famous speech has worked and he's delivered.
So yeah, look, I'm over the moon. I'm still checking. It's got onside goal stands 1-0 to West Ham.
So we are in 19th place as it stands.
Yeah,
So what would your ideal situation be? Obviously, Jamie, you said Poch, you can afford him. I agree. I probably would go for someone like that Poch level. But then, do you think the club will go to the situation where they're going to bring in someone to keep us up, I guess, and hopefully maybe does a better job next season? I don't know. What does everyone think for that? Who would your best appointment be?
I think obviously going forward now, you see the new manager bounce back. Everyone was saying, why would Palace appoint Hodgson again? But you can see they've gone on, I think it was 12 games without a win.
Yeah.
And they go in and beat us. And I know we're not in the greatest of form, especially under Rodgers, we weren't. So for me, I don't really mind who comes in. I don't know if we'd get a long-term manager straight away with 10 games. I think it might be more of an interim manager for the next 10 games. But I can't see us getting Pochettino straight away. Maybe in the summer if we offer him the right money. But right now, I'd say get a manager in who knows a relegation battle at the least to get us out of it.
Yeah. Anyone else before I get Ross in? Anyone else? What are their thoughts on?
Let's bring Ross in. Let's see what he's
Here
got
he
to
is.
say.
It's as the Rock says. Finally, it's about time. Like I said it last night on 5 Live, and I'll say it again. It's about time he went. And so
Ross,
yeah,
were you on 5 Live? Ross, were you on 5? I never heard you mention it once at all, mate. I didn't know that.
Oh, I've got to get myself in there. But do you know what I said about Mike Stow? And it annoyed me last night because they went, why would you know Rodgers club inside out? I said, if Rodgers knows the club inside out, why is Sancho on the bench? Didn't answer me that question. So, but yeah, it's about time. You need to focus now and staying up because at the minute we go on about all these names, but at the minute the way we need stability, we need motivation, coordination, and no matter who it is, obviously Stow will probably take charge Tuesday, probably. But just get someone that knows the club. But if you're going to bring out names, there's only one. There's only one guy I'd love to see back. It won't happen because he's doing well at Bristol City.
Nigel Pearson giving us some.
Do you know what? Right, I know you're shaking your head there, Thomas. But end of the day, you said about relegation things and those things. Pearson wrote the book on it. He got sacked, and then it turns out he wasn't sacked. But he kept us up. We actually were playing well, even though we were losing. We were only lost by like a goal or whatnot. And then it clicked. 7 wins out of 9. Boom, we stayed up. I've literally just found out because I was with a customer. In basically your lot, it came up. Rodgers is sacked. I'm like, what? And I was get in. I was with a customer when they told me. So thanks for the. If I'd have known, if you didn't post it, I wouldn't have known. It's not gonna happen. So I'm reading the comments. It's not gonna happen. It's not.
Yeah,
gonna
well,
why would it go from a steak to a pork scratching? It's not gonna happen.
Like I say, the news has broke everyone that Rodgers has been sacked. I don't think I can say much more. I was probably the only one in this call that was probably backing him still, I guess. But now we're going to Villa's game on Tuesday night with probably a lot more positive thoughts, and we could probably.
It's a different game now, mate. It's a different game because that stadium is not going to be toxic. We were saying on Twitter all morning, I think a lot of people saying, what do you think? And I'm like, well, the problem is we go a goal down early, that stadium will be absolutely horrid. It won't be, there'll be no positivity now. That'll be gone. You suck the life out of it. That's what when I said the other day about Brendan, like my tweet, he's sucked it. He's a leech. He's sucked the life out of the club. And now there's a different thing. Like, look at Jamie, look at me. I go into that game like, actually, the lads they're probably up for it. I think we won't see this sideways football anymore. That's a positive in itself. We're not going to see backwards sideways.
Do you think that the team would change in any way with Rodgers being gone?
Massively.
Hello, Jamie.
I think you will. I think you'll see 2 up front. I think you'll see him play 2 up front. Stan, he won't muck around.
Soyuncu back in.
I think you'll see big change in the team. I think you'll see a lift. I think you'll see a weight off the players' shoulders and having to play this style of football that is draining them. Like there was times yesterday you watched it and you're like, pass it, go. Oh, we've gone backwards again. And you could see the players look frustrated by it. Yes, it works sometimes, but do you know what? Sometimes things have to change. And now I think you'll see change and understand if he's in charge on Tuesday. And then whoever else will come in will probably set us up a bit more rigid. Yes, it might be a little bit more defensive to start with because we've got to try and get a clean sheet from somewhere. But I think going forward-wise, all you've got to say to the likes of Barnes, Tete, Vardy, Daka, play free, play with no fear and go at teams now. We've got nothing to lose. Rodgers, his comments yesterday, probably with a hot fire and a nail in his coffin, in my view, to say that it's still in our hands. Well, it's not in our hands. Look, West Ham has still got a game in hand on us, and they've gone above us at the moment in the league table because the 1-0 win at the moment as it stands after 30 minutes. You know, he'd lost it all. He'd lost that dressing room in my head. You know, yes, there's going to be 1 or 2 players who'll be upset. I think there'll be a lot of players who are quite glad to get back of him, if I'm honest with you now. Look at Jamie, Sarpy. Just think he's back to work next week. All this time off and he's back to work next Tuesday.
I'm back to work tomorrow with a smile on my face. Tomorrow with a smile on my face, I'll be What I was just going to say, though, to everyone, when Brendan Rodgers came in, Mike Stale took over after Pure left and we played Brighton. We were shocking. We played Brighton and we won 2-1 at home on the Tuesday night. I think it was.
Was that the day? Is that after Pure got sacked?
After Pure got sacked, we played Brighton on the Tuesday and we won before Rodgers was, and we won. It's the new manager bounce that we've all been going on about. Sam, you've talked about it as well. The new manager bounce. It makes a huge difference, doesn't it, Sam? Palace, Southampton, not West Ham, Leeds. They've all had new manager bounce. Yeah, it worked great, doesn't it, Sam? It really does.
100%. I mean, we've seen it with all the other clubs, like you said. Southampton, it didn't work from the start, but they're picking up now. There's so many little points between us and Palace still, from Palace to bottom, where we just need to pick up points. Otherwise,
5 points
it's championship for us. Yeah, it's like I said, there's 5 massive games really that we need to focus on, and they are the teams around us.
Here's another fact.
Beat all of them.
But you got to look at the games now. Villa, Bournemouth, and Wolves all at home have got to be wins.
Yeah, they've got to be, 100%.
9 points for them, and you look at it now, and you feel like you actually can go and win against them. Earlier, I was worried about playing Villa. I'm not now because I feel that the shackles will be off. And that's a horrible thing to say about manager, but I feel the shackles will put on the players. The tables it stands now, West Ham have gone up to 14, 27 points.
That's how massive the difference is, though. We win 1 win, you get all the way up the table. It's really mental.
1 win moves you out of the.
Here's a fact.
Go on then.
You know the last time manager got sacked? Who did we play? Do you know when Brighton got sacked?
Brighton.
Yeah,
we just talked about it. Brighton.
No, the team we lost to.
Oh, 4-1.
We lost to and then got sacked.
We lost 4-1 to Palace at home.
To Crystal Palace. And who did we lose to yesterday?
Palace.
Palace.
There you go. Sorry, I didn't know if anyone's put that out there. So basically, Crystal Palace strikes again. So there you go. I just thought I'm thinking about it.
Before Sam and Reedy's time, it used to be Plymouth, didn't it, Tom? Remember, we had a few times where managers were sacked after the Plymouth games.
Yes.
So I know that's between Sam and Reedy. Probably don't know where Plymouth is. Well, Reedy don't know where Plymouth is.
What is it about?
It'll be Reedy that wouldn't.
Down south teams. Like when Svenja and Ericsson got sacked, we lost to Millwall.
As Phil says here, it has happened. We're in a dire mess. With 10 games to go now, obviously we've got 5 games in them 10 games, which are crucial games now. 6 pointers, as me and Sam have said in the video we did the other day, that now he's gone. Is it possible to get out of this mess? I think it is. Yeah. Hopefully,
it is. It is. Confidence is high now. One decision that club has made, it makes the confidence, you make yourself feel a lot more better. Like Tom says, the shackles will be off. Confidence will be high. There'll be no toxicity. Is that a word? Toxicity? There's no toxicity at the ground on Tuesday. Yeah, it'll be absolutely fantastic. It will be. It'll be brilliant.
Well, I'm going to shoot off in a sec. So I'm going to get my Subway.
What a surprise! Food.
Here in your belly.
Well, I get 12. Well, I get 12 quid off on a voucher, so I'm happy. And I'm going to go and celebrate watching the wrestling tonight again. So, yes, thank God he's gone. Cheers. Well, everyone get a thing. Cheers. That's my version of it. Cheers, everyone.
See you later, Ross.
See you in a bit.
All right, Nick, how are you, pal?
Nick.
I'm ecstatic now, guys. I'm not going to lie. How long has we been challenging it for, Jamie? 18 months plus?
November 2021, Chelsea at home when we lost 3-0. That was my first time when I said it, and I stuck by it since then. I've not been flip-flopping like some people on here to the left
Well,
of
you
me.
won't know about the weather, Jamie, because obviously you're in Alcudia. But in Leicester, it's been crap air, cloudy and miserable. And then as soon as the news broke that Brendan had gone, sun came out. So there's a bit of irony for you.
The sun shines on the righteous. Right, I'm just going on mute again because...
how's that possible then? How could Sean Dyche be the current favourite of Leicester job?
We missed the boat on him. I wanted Sean Dyche. What's he got? 3 wins in 7 games since he's been at Everton?
Yep.
Yeah. We should have gone for him when we had the chance. He would have got us out of the mess.
Back 3 of FaZe Suunchu on Tuesday.
Yep.
The whole fan base should be ecstatic.
4-4-2.
It'll be a different
That's what
feel.
we should be playing.
The King Power will be a completely different feel.
There's a positive feeling here now. Yeah.
You go to that game now, and he's
1 second, boys.
It's a different feel. I just think if we'd all turned up on Tuesday, everyone would have been after Rodgers before we started, and before the ball had been kicked, it would have been a gloomy atmosphere, and people just waiting for that goal to go in for us to be 1-0 down. I think from all of our reactions, it says we're all looking forward to now going to play Villa. It's not the game, but it's kettle of fish now that he's not in that dugout. Him and his 2 coaching staff are both gone. It's a different feel now going into that game. Everyone knows it's another must-win game.
And he doesn't break Martin O'Neill's record of 152 games. He's only equal with him.
Thank God for that. I was thinking.
Rob Dorsett has just said that he's still highly thought of as a manager, but the form that's been happening, that's why they've pulled the plug.
He's not an elite manager. He really isn't. He was earning more than when Tuchel was in charge, for God's sake. Tuchel's won the Champions League. I'd classify that as an elite manager. Maybe Brendan's an elite at conference level, but not bloody Premier League. I'm sorry.
I'd go win the Championship in Scotland with that Celtic team, and I'd be an elite coach then, yeah?
Exactly.
Here's a name for you. Will Still from Rems. 2-0 up after 39 minutes.
No.
English, French man.
We need somebody that knows the league.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't we? Realistically, we need somebody that knows the English game, knows how we're supposed to play. We've got all that pace and attack, and we're a counter-attacking team by trade. Use our strengths.
Thing is, you say that, but then the likes of De Zerbi at Brighton, he's coming from, I think, the Italian league, and he's doing brilliant for Brighton. So I wouldn't say it's only a Premier League quality manager you'd bring in, but I think if you want to stay out of this crap and get into a positive side again, then maybe you do bring the likes of Pochettino or someone to that level of me. I just wouldn't bring anyone in like the Sam Allardyce or someone else that's just probably going to be there to just sit there and keep you up.
On the other side of the coin, though, Reader.
Hold on a minute. They've just Dorsett's just said the reason they've sacked him is probably they say they're going to have a better chance of winning the game on Tuesday without Brendan Rodgers.
There you go.
That's what they've just said.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, mate, the whole thing of it was with a mutual consent. Both parties agreed it was time to move on. It's not a bollocks. He's been sacked. They just stay like that. Better. He's been sacked. He was sacked because he didn't perform at his job. If Reedy goes to work and doesn't perform, Phil sacks him. So
if Reedy doesn't get his tea, he gets binned off.
If don't get any better and he gets worse, he gets sacked. It's one of those things. Not, we mutually agreed that I'm going to leave because it wasn't working. I just wish them to be honest. Just be honest. Yeah, we sacked him. It wasn't good enough. End of. That's it.
Do we think we can all agree, though, that we need, if it's interim or this is going to be next permanent, we need somebody that's going to have some sort of experience about getting us out of the mess that we're in. Pochettino, for example, he's managed at Spuds, he's managed at PSG, but they don't really have relegation fights, do they? It's a difficult kettle of fish at the bottom rather than the high rises at the top. So we need somebody that's going to instill some fight and a bit of passion into the players again, that are going to scrap and claw for every point available from now till the end of the season.
Well, that's the thing about it. Passion and drive, like we've been saying for the last 4 or 5 weeks, that the club, the players have been missing, and I think proved it yesterday. There was nothing there. There was no drive or determination. So you've got to bring someone who's going to lift the players and say, you've got to want this. You've got to drive it. I can give you tactics, but you boys got up everything you've done by 20, 30, 40% on that pitch now going forward for the last 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the about the 20th minute, from the 70th minute onwards, for me, it just looked like we were playing for the draw. There was no decisions there to push for a win. Like when he brought Kell on, I was like, you've got to bring off either Barnes or someone like that to go to up top, to go a bit more of a pressure up top. But then he brings Daka off, and I feel like that's just killed the attack completely. And hopefully, with him gone, maybe that changes, and maybe the subs ain't going to be Simare for someone, or putting Luke Thomas on for a left back.
I know you're not in the Daka out camp really, but you tell me, what does Daka actually offer us? Because he gets pushed off the ball so easy. He's so he's too lightweight for the prep.
But I don't think we've got any striker at the moment that's playing well. We've got no one.
This is about Rodgers. This is about Rodgers.
No, but I know it's about Brendan Rodgers, Jamie. But what I'm trying to say is, we need players that, like I said, they're going to scrap, claw, and those sort of players we do have in our squad. You know, we play 4-4-2, play Nacho and Vardy up top, bring Mendy back into the fold because Ndidi was beyond useless yesterday, and he's not been right since his injury. Bring Cags back into the fold.
Yeah,
players that want to be here, that want to scrap.
I think
I'm going to shoot. I'll speak to you later.
Go back to the season where you had Vardy and Kell up front and try it again. You got nothing to lose. You know, exactly. At this point, you got nothing to lose by using Vardy and Kell up front, 2 up top, Maddison sitting in behind them, and then playing that 3 at the back is Cags, Shooter, and Faz. You wing back to Pereira and Cassagna picks himself in really the team. Go with some experience, and then you play Mendy and KDH in the middle of the park, or Mendy and Tillemans, depending who you want to put in that middle two. But you've got to change doing. And for me, Cags has got to come back in the team. We talked about this morning actually, and said about his performance for Turkey in the international break. His last game for them was absolutely phenomenal at the back for them. So he can do it. And I think Jeremy now, if you put him back in, he'll probably give you a couple of good performances to end of the season because he want to repay the fans. So you know the fans still live him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Daka,
obviously.
Sorry, Reading.
Go on, you go, mate. You go.
I was say I think Daka could become a little decent player now. Same with I think Vardy, the way that we've been playing them. I said to you, Reedy, but I don't understand why Rodgers ever signed Daka in the first place in the style that he plays football. It doesn't suit the way that Daka plays. I've never been Daka's biggest fan, but if we play him right, I think he could become maybe not quite as good as Jamie Vardy, but all we need is, the ball's through the middle of the pitch, straight to his feet, and he does tap-ins. I think that's the kind of player Daka is, and I've yet to see us play him in that kind of style.
I think that one time we saw him play like that was when we played, was it Brighton away? You were saying, that was our first time we put the ball over the top and he scored straight from that. Yeah. We still lost, yes, but again, for me, I'm not one who always just wants the ball over the top, but I do get the people's opinions on passing around the back a lot of the time and playing tippy-tappy football a lot. But for me, it does come down to players as well, and hopefully that now Rodgers is gone, it does take the shackles off them and play them with a bit more freedom, I guess, because now they can do what they want to do instead of Rodgers telling them what he wants them to do with the game. Maybe Barnes shows up now. You never know.
You think back to the Brentford goal last week, how we scored Barnes' Brentford goal and how we Maddison played that through middle, right? If Vardy's on the pitch and he gets played that pass instead of Barnes, 9 times out of 10, Jamie Vardy will put that chance away. When Jamie Vardy's on the pitch under Brendan Rodgers, when he was there, it was lumped up to the air, expected him to do like what Steve Howard and all the other big lads that we had, knock it down. Vardy doesn't play like that. So if we do start to play football where it's in behind, let him run onto it, whether it's Vardy or Daka, we might see more goals.
One player makes a difference in my view, and that's one player who's been struggling recently, that's Ndidi. And I've said it for a long time, Ndidi's not a ball-playing defensive midfielder. We saw it yesterday, the ball away, and Ndidi is getting the ball, winning it back, and then getting it wide or knocking it to the right back or left back into the space and letting them play with it and letting them move the ball forward like Ricardo can.
Oh, look at his face. Look how happy he is.
Yeah.
Finally,
you're asking.
The smiles come back, Jono.
Yeah, you're asking him to get the ball and then play backwards passes and receive the ball on the half turn, and he looks out of sorts because you're asking him to completely do something that's not his natural game.
Yeah.
Pick the ball in the middle of the park and turn and run at people. He doesn't want to do that. Samari will do that for you because he doesn't mind trying to do that and he doesn't mind losing. But Ndidi looks so lost with. I mean, yesterday he gave the ball away and they nearly scored from him trying to pass the ball back. He's just not Ndidi's game. So for me, he's another one. Go back to Ndidi. You win the ball back. You put it to the left or right back channel and let them go up the line, clear it. Doing before, not trying to pass.
Yeah. Jono, before we do get your views, I'm going to quickly bring in Sean. Sean, welcome, mate. Hope you're doing all right.
Lads, I'm off. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit, Tom.
I'm off as well, lads.
No worries. See you in a bit, Nick. Sean, appreciate you coming in. What is your thoughts on the big news of Rodgers being sacked, mate?
I am really glad he's got sacked, and what he's done, and it is it, and we keep on losing every time, but I think it's the right time to get him a sack.
Yeah. Again, I'll say that I wasn't the biggest fan of the Rodgers out crowd, but now it's happened. I must admit, it does feel a bit of weight lifted, I guess, because I feel like now going into the last 10 games, we've got something to play for without someone kind of stopping us playing how we want to play. Jono, obviously, we can see that you're happy. What is your kind of thoughts now with who you want to bring in, or what do you think with the rest of the season going on forward?
I think, every other team has made a decision to progress forwards, as in get a new manager or, change something. We haven't changed anything for literally since the beginning of the season. Well, we brought in 2 new players that were a little bit of a bounce with the players, but nothing's changed. Like, he's either playing really defensive or pass around the back football, or that's it. There's no other plan B. And now we're going to have a manager or a different type of tactics that can improve that. Or the players might, it's happened before with the managers. We got a new manager and with a bounce, with Shakespeare, with Ranieri, when we get a new manager, we bounce, and hopefully we pick up after this.
I hope so. I think for me now, actually going into the Tuesday game, I feel a lot more confident. I think most fans will be a lot more confident. I think the team will change, like we were saying before. The team will change in some ways. Maybe Barnes will start performing to his best abilities again. Maybe Brendan Rodgers was one reason why he wasn't playing to his best he could. Tete, he's brought in from Rodgers. Does he play now? I'm not too sure. If we do play up top, he won't be. But going into the defence now, does Sunchi coming back into that line? Because for me, he probably does. But it depends who gets dropped then.
Sunchi comes back. Maybe the crowd bounce. The biggest difference is the atmosphere. We're at home next game. There'll be such a huge difference hearing the fans. We're going to be proper buzzing with the fans back. So hopefully we get that buzz back. We've been having missed for so long.
Yeah, I think that is where we're going to end it, Jono, because we've got so many thoughts and comments and things. Sean, can we get one of your famous "Come on, you foxes" for Tuesday night before we do let you go?
I don't think so, mate. I think
no?
So. No, I don't think so, mate.
Okay. No worries.
Because of Brendan.
Yeah. All right then, mate. Well, appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah.
See you in a bit, mate. Jono, appreciate you coming on. Obviously, I know it's short, but big news has finally happened for most people.
Yeah.
So we will catch you all on the next one.
Before we do go, I don't hate the man. He has given us 2 or 3 top 5 finishes, an FA Cup, Community Shield. So it's not like he's done nothing for the club, and I appreciate what he's done for us. But it's definitely time for him to move on.
Yeah, I probably would agree. I didn't think it would happen to the summer, but obviously now it's happened. We've got 10 games now to really get out of this hole we were been put in.
The first team players must now really get, because if they want to prove a point, there's got to be now.
Yeah, as Maz said, well said. That's it, guys. Appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we've got Phil's show tomorrow, but I will be taking over. So I apologise for that. Phil's away, so I'll be taking over his show. So I'll speak to you all on the next show. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone.